We are all villains, not because we're evil and not because we're bad people, but because you're going to disappoint somebody, you are going to hurt somebody. So eventually, you're going to have to choose yourself over somebody. You're going to leave. You are going to outgrow people you never thought that you would have outgrown. You're going to make decisions that benefit you, and somebody else is going to suffer because of those decisions. I'm just a rapper who'll be talking about topics that I find too long to fit in a song, how I feel about them, and this is one of them. We all love heroes. Everybody believes that they're the good guy. People tell their own stories from their own perspective. They never want to know what happens to the next person, what happens to the other person, you know. People all of a sudden know how to defend themselves. Because when we are at fault, we suddenly know how to explain ourselves. We know how to explain our mistakes, but we want to go out and judge the other person. It's so funny how understanding we are when we're the ones who make the mistakes. Suddenly we have context. Suddenly we have reasons we can explain. But when it's the other people doing things to us, we're so quick to judge and point fingers at them and talk about, oh well, you had a choice. We want to reason so much when we are the ones that are committing all the mistakes, but when it's other people, we want to judge, we don't want to hear them, we want to point fingers. But when it's our fault, all of a sudden, oh no, it's complicated, you wouldn't understand. And those are the things that we say. We hurt other people so much that we believe we can explain, but when other people hurt us, all of a sudden all complexity disappears. And all of a sudden, I was right, they were wrong. That's what people say, and that's what people do. And then there are people that we never apologize to. I genuinely believe that there are people that we all mistakenly became villains to. Because so many people would rather disappear from other people's lives than actually apologizing. How many friends or how many partners or even relatives do people do dirty, and instead of apologizing, they would rather not keep contact anymore because of such reasons? And then there are people that mistakenly have done us wrong, but we never communicated the things that they've done to us. We painted them the villain, and then we decided to silently cut them out of our lives without explaining to them what happened, because we just decided that we're gonna drift away from them. And then we keep them wondering what is it that they've done, or maybe we switched up on them instead of communicating what had happened. And I'm not even gonna skip or forget the part where we chose opportunities over the relationships we had with people. Those are villain stories, because if you choose an opportunity over a friend, that's betrayal, regardless of how small or how playful it is. I genuinely believe that you should never pick any opportunity when there's someone that you have a relationship with going for the same thing that you're going for. But again, when those things happen, vibes change, and then all of a sudden you're too busy to reach out, you're too busy to call, pick up calls. You start prioritizing other things more than the relationship that you have, then you know it's a wrap. And it's not because you hated them or you started feeling different about them. It's just because life happened. Then you have to ask yourself, how many people think differently about us than we do about ourselves? And another thing that creates villains or make us villains is ambition. Everybody loves the ambition. until ambition takes away all your time. You know, when you're so locked in, working on a dream or success or goals that you set for yourself, I believe that that thing drives you into some sort of isolation where you prioritize yourself, you know, the goals that you have for yourself. Nothing or nobody can come in between those things, because you know the results that you want from them. You know how much you could get out of them. So when you're so locked in into those things and other people don't understand, in a way that changes how they view you and the perspective they have about you. Because no matter how much you can communicate things to the next person, they never going to see them the way that you see them. They never going to understand things the way that you are looking at them. And then they start questioning things like, why are you missing events? Why are you missing hanging out with them? You know, every plan that they have, and they include you, they consider you to come with them. You reject every invitation, and then they feel like you're switching up. And that makes you a villain in their story, because they downplaying the things that you taking seriously. And it's not even that they don't think maybe you can achieve them. It's because those are your visions and goals, so they don't make sense to them. Because that same dream that gives one ambition can also make another person feel abandoned. And you gotta come to the realization that growth has a cost. Every version of yourself has to leave something behind. People talk about growth like it's free, and it's really not. Growth comes with a lot of changes, and those changes can be changes of friendships, environments, and habits. Because I believe that when you're so tapped in on your ambitions, you start seeing friendships and the habits that you've built over the years differently. You can now look at your friends and see that you guys don't have the same ambitions. You guys are not heading in the same direction. The things that you want for yourself aren't things that they want. The habits that you've had, you start looking at them differently, because you start to question things like, I've been doing this for so many years and I'm still doing it. It got me nowhere. So why am I still keeping these habits when they're getting me no results? Sometimes it's even changing of environment, leaving places that you grew up in and the places you reside in. You come to the realization that so many people are okay with the situations around them. They have no ambitions of doing better. They have no ambitions of leaving or moving to better places or even bettering the environment that they're in. That changes you when you start focusing on your ambitions and wanting different things for yourself. And I genuinely believe that sometimes, in order to become who you're supposed to be, you have to be unrecognizable to the people that know you. And some people will not celebrate your growth. They'll see it as your departure. Life isn't a movie, but it gives us roles. And we choose the roles that we play and why we play them. And most people are not evil. The people that constantly pick themselves over other people, that don't want to engage with other people, they're not evil. They're just trying to survive. And sometimes journeys collide, because I do believe that two good people with genuine intentions do hurt each other sometimes. These things happen. Relationships and friendships end without anybody hurting the next person. Things just fall apart. People go their separate ways, maybe because of the seasons that they're experiencing in their lives. And the paths that people are supposed to take sometimes do not go in the same direction. Therefore, friends without betraying each other and lovers without hurting each other have to go separate ways in order to get to their destinations. One of the hardest parts about growing up is coming to the realization that we are all capable of causing pain. And not because we're evil, but because we're human and we are capable of making bad decisions. We have selfish moments and we do make emotional mistakes. And the goal is not to become perfect than other people while pointing fingers. The goal is just to become aware of the things that happen and the things that you do. So, yeah, I believe that we are all villains. Maybe not in every story, but we are. Not all the time, but in someone's story. At some point, we are the reason why they cried, we are the reason why they changed, and we are also the reason why they left. And maybe maturity isn't learning how to become a hero. Maybe maturity is learning how to carry that truth without letting it turning you into a villain again. And maybe that is what growth is.